What I really love about what you do is like not only the creativity, I mean, it's beautiful, like it's so catered to the individual. And I know that's something that was really important to you.
I'm a control freak.
Perfect.
I
Yeah.
want to make sure that everything is perfect.
Where does that generosity come from?
There's not enough kindness in the world. We need to bring more of that forward. They have dietary restrictions, and I will build boxes, treats, gifts for them around what they can have. You are always going to get the best that I can give you every box you get.
Welcome to the Best of White Rock, where we sit down with the standout business owners, community leaders, and entrepreneurs shaping life here in White Rock and South Surrey for the better. These are their stories behind the people driving real change in our community. Hosted by me, Darren German of the German Group. Katrina Stanton.
Hi.
I am so happy you're here for various reasons. So for people that don't know you, I am fortunate enough to have known you and your family. And there's many interweaving sorts of storylines there that we can certainly get into. But number one, the biggest thing is you're here on the Best of White Rock. And I'm so excited to introduce you to our community. So I'd love for you to introduce people to yourself and what you do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I run and own PoshNosh Charcuterie, a small business. It's one person right here.
It's like the smallest,
the smallest of businesses.
the small that you can get.
Exactly. Yeah. Micro business even. But I have big dreams, big aspirations, and a big personality to go with it. And so we're rocking and rolling with it and filling people's demands. And I hope, yours today and your tummy.
Yes. We've got a beautiful box here that you were gracious enough to bring us. And I, full transparency, I've had a few of these and they keep on tasting better and getting better every time I see
the
one.
goal. That's the goal.
Which is totally the
We've
goal.
got to keep it fresh and new and exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I'm looking forward to getting into that. So
well, good.
What I would love for you to do is explain what PoshNosh is. Like, so take me through what you do there.
Sure. So we're a local, like I said, a charcuterie business, but we're not limited to that. What I love about being one person, being in control, is that we can provide different food to all kinds of different people and their dietary needs. I have customers who can't eat charcuterie. They can't eat meat and cheese. They have dietary restrictions, and I will build boxes, treats, gifts for them around what they can have so that everyone gets to enjoy something that they can eat and feel comfortable eating without having to worry about what the ingredients are.
Yeah. Well, and so this particular box, like a lot of people that watch my channels and stuff like that know that I'm vegan. So this is like a fully vegan box.
It is, yes.
One of many that I've, again, been fortunate enough to enjoy. But what I really love about what you do is like not only the creativity, I mean, it's beautiful, but not only that, like it's so catered to the individual. And I know that's something that was really important to you. Like we've talked a lot about, dietary restrictions. We've talked a lot about allergies, right?
Yes.
And, my family's a great example. I've got everything in there.
Yes,
right?
you do.
Between all that sort of stuff. So why was that important to you when you were kind of building out this idea? Like it was all about inclusivity and really providing an experience for people.
Yes. So I actually got into the business because my girlfriend was having a birthday. I ordered a very large, luxurious box from a different company for her birthday. And I was very specific about my requests for the box. And my needs weren't met.
And I remember you saying it was not a cheap box. Like it was over $300 for the box. Okay.
And I looked at it when it came and I thought, I can do this better. So I pulled the box apart, and this was before starting anything to do with any kind of business myself. I pulled it apart. I added things to it that I felt would meet what we needed and what we wanted out of the box. I ended up with, I'm not kidding you, a board that was this of the table here for 2 people for a weekend. It was ridiculous. And I brought that over and we literally ate it for 3 days. And she was so happy. She looked at me and says, "Why aren't you doing this as a business?"
Wow.
And I said, that's not what I do. My background is in business development. I've worked contracts for other businesses, building up other businesses. And it's not what I do. And we were in the midst of COVID. And as you know, everything in COVID held still and a lot of people went out of jobs. I myself had different health complications, and I couldn't give what I had to the job that I was working for. So I resigned from that position, and I was staying home with my son. And I thought, sure, I'll give it a go. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, it does. And I felt that there was a need for people to be heard in ordering food. I feel like there are several large online food delivery services that I'm sure we've all had negative experiences with.
Sure.
My neighbors receive ours more often than I do. And more often than not, it's cold or not the right order. And I feel like, wow, this was thrown into a bag and delivered to my front steps. And do I feel good about eating this? Do I feel good about giving this to my family? Would I order that if my friends were coming over for dinner? I didn't feel that I would present that food and feel proud of it. And I wanted something, especially as we came out of the pandemic and people started to socialize again. I wanted to create something that you could bring without having to worry to a dinner party, to a friend's house, as a gift. Send it to someone. I deliver personally, and you can know that that is going to arrive looking exactly as it is to them with exactly what you wanted in it. And if you don't know what you want, I'll tell you what you want, and you will love it because it's made for you to your tastes,
right,
with any restrictions taken into consideration. I can't eat carbs. My son doesn't eat cheese. My husband doesn't eat pork. We're the perfect family for charcuterie, right? Crackers, cheese, and meat. There you go.
Right.
I can make boxes for my husband and I for date night that have the things we need. And I feel like that should be accessible to everybody, no matter what your dietary restrictions are. If you have halal, if you are vegetarian, if you're vegan, if you have allergies, I make sure that every single item that goes into your box is vetted by me, by hand, and picked. You have the finest organic produce that is gone over. How many times do you get strawberries at the store and they're moldy 3 hours later?
Right.
I go through every single one. They're wrapped in 24 karat gold. You can't see what's underneath, but I've seen what's underneath and they're fresh. And that's so important to me. I want to be able to give you something that you can give to someone else and feel proud of that.
Well, and that's so, we've had a theme here when we've had some like local restaurateurs and whatnot on this show, and the passion, just like you're sharing right now, that these people have to provide like really good quality food and not just like something that's been thrown together and something that doesn't have that love and that care in it. And the neat thing about all these people, including yourself, is how successful they've been just treating people maybe the way that they want to be treated, or they should be treated, right?
Exactly.
And you said something that I thought was really, really heartwarming for me. I've got a child that has allergies, and our children are good friends with each other, which is great, and kind of how we ended up getting introduced. And I actually went to school with your husband.
You did, yeah.
So the whole web is kind of getting tighter there. But, you said something to me as like a parent with a child with allergies, and that was just simply what you said, like you handpick these, you have the confidence in knowing what is in there, because you recognize not only, the importance of doing that, but also the inclusivity of letting everyone kind of enjoy, especially like for a special event. Like charcuterie is not typically like a Wednesday night get home from hockey practice type thing.
No. But it can be.
Right.
And there are things that I've done for people to bring that in where it can be an everyday thing. One of those things is by keeping a set price point. I don't want anyone to come in and have surprises or not be able to afford to have something that they're proud of. But as a special occasion food and as something that isn't a typical weekday thing, you don't want to open this box when you get home and look at it and go, do those crackers have sesame seeds in them? Does something in that have nuts because it's vegan cheese? Does that have cashew in it? Most vegan cheeses do.
Right.
And I want you to know confidently that every single thing in there has been vetted. Every ingredient has been gone through. And while I can never say, as any food distributor will say, it is made in a place where I do work with nuts. There are nuts in my home, but I've also had your son over for dinner to my house.
Right.
And I take every precaution. And if I wouldn't serve this confidently to your son, I wouldn't serve it to any of my other customers.
Yeah.
I want everyone to know that while we can never say 100% yes, it is not free. It's not free.
Yeah.
I've done everything that I can do as a person, as a mom, as a member of a community, and I care about my community. And I care about repeat customers. I want you to love your box. I want you to come back and go, wow, that was the best one I've ever had. What else have you got?
Yeah.
Be excited about it.
Well, and that lends to this question as well. Like, and again, we'll make sure people can kind of see what I'm looking at here. Why spend the time making it look so pretty like that? Like, where does that come from? I don't even know how you do that. Like, if I tried to put that together, it would look like a salad more than like what you've done. But like, why spend the time? Why is that important to you?
I feel like there's not enough beauty in the world. Okay. I feel like we're in.
Love that.
I feel like we're in such a rush these days. Everything is a hurry. We have sports games, we have kids, we have jobs. There's always something to do. I feel like it gives me a small bit of zen to be able to sit down and put together something that's thoughtfully curated. It's not just put together. I curate this. I tell a story with each box. And I feel like my customers feel that in every box they get. You may not know what's in there. If I asked you right now, what kind of vegan salami is that? You're going to look at that and go, I have no idea. But when you try it, it's going to make sense and you're going to enjoy it. And you're going to want to come back to have another story told to you. It's like a bedtime story for kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You read them a great story and do all the good voices. They're going to want another one the next night.
Yeah.
Right? I want to have this make sense to you like a story and have you enjoy eating it. It's a love language for me. Cheese is my love language.
I love that. That is the cheese. And I think a lot of people can maybe agree with that.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
So like this whole business idea was spawned from having a terrible experience in receiving something that you thought was going to be incredibly high quality. And I know even in telling me that story, the amount of thought that had gone into what you thought you were going to get. So you've developed this whole business. And I know that so primarily right now, you're driving a lot of your growth through Instagram and word of mouth. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Most of what I do is word of mouth.
Okay.
I'm very, very fortunate to be a member of such a great community as this. And I've lived here my whole life, and I do have a good circle of friends. When I started my business, I went to that circle and I said to them, I'm going to give you a free box. I don't want you to tell me that it's wonderful. I don't want you to go blow smoke anywhere. I want you to try it and give me an honest review. If you don't like it or you think there's something to be improved on, I want to hear about that.
Right.
And then I reached out to people that were in need. And I reached out to a lady whose daughter had been aggressively bullied in school. And I felt like in that situation, I didn't know what I would be doing. And the only thing I could think, other than, thoughts and prayers, is, do you want a free box for dinner so you don't have to think about that tonight? And I gave her that. And she gave me one of the most heartfelt reviews. And I didn't ask for that.
Right.
And people saw that and they liked that. And I want the honesty. I want the transparency. And people have been talking about it online. And it's wonderful. And I still feel like I'm dreaming a little bit.
Yeah.
I see posts for people asking for recommendations. And 15 of the answers from the local community are PoshNosh, PoshNosh Charcuterie. Wow. And I go, oh my gosh, that's me. Yeah. Wow. Oh, I know her.
Well, what a compliment, right? Like there's no better marketing plan in the world than having this legion of loyal followers who want to, when you give a referral to someone, you're putting yourself on the line a lot, right? Because you're saying, hey, this is a person that I trust and I want to extend that trust over to you. Yeah. And the only reason, like, why go out of my way to say these things? But I know that you're going to get the same level of care and the same level of like amazing procurement of what's going to be in there. And it's so much more than that too, because it's the experience, right?
Yes.
This lends to the experience of sitting around with you and your family, just enjoying it. And for them to put their, reputation or their relationship on the line to do that, what an incredible way of growing a business, right? And it's profitable, as a business, because you're not out there putting, my industry being in real estate, I'm not out there on bus benches. I don't have to do that in that example. Yeah. I was going to say you putting your charcuterie boards on the bus bench. I don't know how well that would work. Maybe it would, right? But like,
they've been on a few buses. My husband's a bus driver, so it goes with him in his backpack, but definitely on no benches.
Right. Yeah. But like, what a great way to build a business and also to build a name in the community, to see your name being mentioned when people need that service. It's just incredible.
And I love to be able to give back. As I mentioned, it's a passion project, and it's a love language, and it genuinely is something that I enjoy.
I want you to talk a little bit about giving back, because that's really a big piece of your story. So I know, like, when we were kind of getting ready for this interview and whatnot, you had brought up, like, I know the school system, or not system, sorry, the school that our both our boys go to. You were talking about some things you had done there, but there was a ton of things in the community. Like, can you unpack that a little bit?
I started with schools.
Right.
I feel that our educators during COVID, when all of this started, how they adapted to look after the kids, and our boys were too young to be in the school system at that point.
Right.
So we
Thank
didn't,
goodness.
right? We didn't feel that directly, but I watched it through the Facebook community and through the Instagram community. And I watched these teachers struggle to bring education to kids that were trapped in the houses, and how hard they worked and what they do every day, even now that things are back to normal.
Right.
To be able to just say thank you in a little bit of a different way and give them something. So, my son's teacher has already, we've only, 14 days into the school year. She has already received charcuterie and will continue to through the year, unless she tells me that her pants don't fit anymore and she needs me to stop. It brings me joy to share that love that way.
Right.
I love to put together for any staff appreciation days. I put together the largest crates I have for them, because I can't do what they do. I can do this. And that's how I can say thank you. I've donated gift certificates to different school galas for fundraising efforts. I'm working with Flourishing Foundation coming up in November. They're having their annual gala, and I'm very lucky that for the last 2 years, they've chosen me to do all of their food. Just being a part of the community that's given me so much and allows me to have a business like this where I get to stay home with my son, where I can be the mom that I always wanted to be. My background is in business development, business management. I never found love in that. I didn't like what I was doing. I worked to work. I needed to. Right. Everyone, we all do. Yeah. But I worked to have a job, and I didn't work because I had passion. For a community who allows me now to do something that I feel very passionately about, is wonderful. And to be able to give back to that in some small way, even if it's just taking dinner off their hands one night a week or making date night extra special, that's a love to me. That's something that I enjoy.
Where does that generosity come from? Why do you think that? Because that's not something I don't think that a lot of people share. You know, people are generous in their own ways, but some people just go above and beyond to make other people's days, or just to really appreciate and show that gratitude. Like, why do you think you do that? Where does that come from?
I feel like we do what we're able to. If you have room in your cup to be generous and make, something special for someone in whatever way you can, it's kind and it's a nice thing to do. There's not enough kindness in the world. We need to bring more of that forward. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's other ways that people show their generosity. And I feel like we do have in White Rock and South Surrey, especially, I feel, a very strong community that wants to hold each other up, and they want to come together. You see events all the time that happen. People lose a spouse. People create meal trains for them. Right. People contribute to the pantry project down in White Rock. There are unhoused population, and there are people who bring them gift bags at Christmas time. I've seen it. I've seen people bring blankets and stop when someone's having a mental health crisis on the sidewalk, and not just call 911 and walk away and roll their eyes. Our community sits with that person until the ambulance arrives. Right. And I feel like that's generosity too. If you have the ability to do one kind thing a day, do that one kind thing a day. It just so happens that my fridge runneth over with cheese and salami, and I'm able to be kind that way. Yeah. But if you don't have a second kitchen where you've got all of the cheese that basically they sell in Switzerland, then find a different way each day to just bring a smile to someone's face. Well,
the energy that you bring to everything that you do, like even just in our social interactions and whatnot, I mean, it's just so like heartwarming. And it's been such a pleasure to get to know you over the last, really, I guess, 2 years or so. But
thank you.
This isn't about that today. This is about your wonderful business. But I mean, I can certainly attest to that. I know, like, when you put these together, we had an interesting conversation too about like the thought that goes into the procurement of what goes in there, and not Not necessarily like the what, but the quality.
Yes.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that as well?
Yes, absolutely. I want only the best for everyone. I want to eat the best. I want to serve the best, and I want to deliver the best. I also like supporting this wonderful community, and I enjoy going to the small local shops. And if there's something that I can't bring in myself that I know the quality of, I will go to another local business, and I pay the same price you would if you walked off the street.
Right.
But I feel good about supporting that local business and giving them my money to put their product in here, and I know where it comes from. The grapes from your box were grown in Crescent Beach on my friend's vine.
Wow.
She picked them in her garden last night, and I went and picked them up. The vegan salamis are from Vegan Supply.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose them. They're a wonderful resource. Let's all go give them our patronage, right? Being able to put together something that has quality ingredients from local retailers, where this is giving back to the community and it's bringing joy to you, is a twofold gift. It's working two ways. That's very important to me. As well, I don't ever want someone to open a box and try something and go, oh, that tastes like a craft single. I don't want that.
Right.
Everything in your box, I've tried.
Right.
I'm not vegan.
Right.
I've tried everything in there, and honestly, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And even saying that about vegan cheese is sometimes a lot to say, right?
It can be, but you know what? I wouldn't put something in there that I wouldn't eat myself and that I'm proud to serve.
Yeah.
So that's really important to me. Bringing forward high quality ingredients.
Mm.
I feel like a lot of the food service industry has mass produced, or I don't even know how to say it, Cisco products.
Mm.
That seems like you can go anywhere and you can get the same burger. You find that one burger that's fantastic. You go to Uli's and have a burger at Uli's.
Uli's has been on.
They have. Yeah. Their burgers are
very good. Yeah.
Phenomenal, yeah. Right? You find that one that's a little bit special, and you go, oh wow, this is something that I'm going to go and find again. I'm going to have this again. Mm. You go somewhere and you just have that burger that's off that Cisco truck or whatever. You're going, oh, well, that's not really anything that I'm going to go out of my way to have again. Sure. Yeah. And I want my customers to want to come to me again.
Yeah.
And by giving them something that is super high quality, local, organic, only the best that I can get my hands on, you are always going to get the best that I can give you every box you get.
So what, like, you can go to wherever, let's say Safeway as an example, right? So you could go to Safeway and buy like a mass produced, like whatever was about to expire that week has gone onto the, gone onto the board. What's one thing that you wish everybody knew about like what you do that maybe they wouldn't understand, or maybe they wouldn't appreciate unless they understood it better?
I feel like a lot of the products that I select are done so for the overall experience, not just because that one cheese is good.
Explain what you mean by that.
When you're having this box tonight, your box right here, it's a love story to pepper.
Right. To pepper, okay.
To pepper.
I love pepper.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear that. You've got a spread here that's red pepper and eggplant, and that's sweet and earthy. Wow. And then you've got a smoked paprika vegan chorizo that goes with it, and that brings in a smoky flavor. And then you've got a spicy one here that has hot chipotle in it. That's going to bring a different thing. Right here, you've got a cherry and black pepper spread that Daniel and I made. Oh my son.
That's amazing.
We made that ourselves, and it's got a kick to it. It's made with cherries that I got from Kingfisher Farm Market.
Amazing.
And it's locally sourced and made at home. You've got hot peppers in here, and everything is thoughtfully put together so that when you're eating every piece, you can put it together. You can make your own story. But I'm giving you the blueprint of the story that you get to make.
I love that. It's so great.
Yeah.
And I know, like, so there's certain times a year where you're just like all hands on deck. Like, don't talk to mom today. Mom's busy, sort of thing.
Mom's not home.
Yeah. Like I know we had talked about during the holidays, which naturally, as you would assume, is probably a very busy time for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Over Christmas last year, pre-Boxing Day and Boxing Day, those 2 days, I did 300 orders.
By yourself?
By myself.
By yourself.
By
Wow.
myself. I did not sleep that night. Christmas morning, I was drinking espresso so fast just to stay awake. But I know that all of my customers got to, on Christmas Eve, they got to go to their Christmas parties and bring something that they were super proud to bring and excited about. I had parties that people were hosting, and they had the big wine crates that were just open at the top and overflowing with all the goodness.
Wow.
And people also use it on Christmas morning. I put together brunch boxes for them at Christmas time. And so on Christmas morning, you don't have to think about what you're going to make for breakfast. You just pull the box out of the fridge and it's ready for you and your family.
Yeah.
It's chaos, but I love it. I think I thrive under pressure, and I detach a little bit, and I do it.
Yeah.
But even with that said, you're not going to get the same order as the person next to you.
Right.
Even though you may have a lot of the same products in the box, because it's what's seasonally available. And that's important to me too, is using things that are seasonally available. I don't want to bring things in from further away and contribute to pollution any more than we need to. Use things that are local. Every box is different.
Yeah.
Even if you order 2 identical boxes, they're going to look a little bit different.
Yeah.
They're sisters, not twins.
Yeah, I love that.
So everyone is also tailored to each individual person. And even over the holidays can get a little bit much juggling that, but everything is vetted.
Yeah.
Everything is checked over.
And you're not just limited to holidays, though. I think that's an important thing for people to hear is like,
Absolutely.
there's some really good, even, hey, the kids have soccer and hockey tonight and, or this week. And obviously you need notice. They can't call you at, an hour before sort of thing. But, we got a busy week, or we're doing a date night, or we're having all the family over for dinner this weekend, or, Thanksgiving's coming up, or whatever.
Birthdays are wonderful.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunities where families can enjoy, and kind of this can be part of that story, and just takes all that off their plate so they can just enjoy the company.
And I do specials as well. So I'll do over Christmas, if you pre-book and you order in advance, you'll get 10% off your order. Okay. That's a good way for me to make sure that it's within everyone's budget as well. I do Valentine's Day boxes and bouquets that are just so cute. And they're honestly, putting them together is trying on my patients. That's probably the biggest challenge I faced with all of it, is getting the little salami roses to stand up in the vases. But that overall, when I get to deliver that to someone and it's a bouquet made out of charcuterie, I love that. That's worth it to me. I enjoy doing that.
I love that. And you're I love that it's like a one-woman show. You got people that can help, I suppose, if you need it, right? But
I'll get you out delivering for me.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and I know you do that oftentimes on your, you put your husband to work, and he'll get out there and deliver them. Yeah. I love what you had said when we were talking, because you like growth is great, right? Mm-hmm. And it's something you might consider in the future, but right now you have such a passion for just delivering that experience to people that you've made the decision that I'm going to continue to do this because I love it.
Yes.
I'm going to continue to do it because I can be the arbiter of like the experience that people are going to receive. And I just thought that was so neat, because so many people are just like, let's ramp up, let's scale this puppy, let's take over the world and all that. And not to say that maybe won't happen, but it was the quality and the experience that was so important to you.
It is.
And until, and not to put words in your mouth, but maybe until you figure out a way that you could or choose to do that, you just want to make sure that people are getting the best of what you're able to give them. I'm
a control freak.
Perfect.
I want to make sure that everything is perfect. And if you're satisfied with your order when you get it, I'm not satisfied. I want you to be blown away by your order.
I love that.
I want you to go, wow, this is something really special. And I haven't met someone who has that same passion for putting meat and cheese in a box. Let's be real, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And until I find somebody who feels that way and who I can see put out work like that, I don't feel comfortable handing that off to someone else. I couldn't trust someone else to put that level of care into what I'm essentially putting my name on. And I want to make sure that every single thing that is received by one of my clients, their expectations are not just met. They are so far exceeded that they are telling their friends and calling their mom and saying, "You'll never believe what just came to my door."
Yeah.
And I have that. I have customers in Saskatchewan. I have customers in Halifax. I have the most lovely lady in Saskatchewan who orders Christmas and birthdays for her brother who lives in White Rock.
Wow.
And he has some of the most strict dietary requirements of any one of my customers. Makes this look like a walk in the park.
Yeah.
And this gentleman, every holiday, his sister just shoots me a text and she goes, "Can we do another one?" Sure. How big do you want this time? Right? And she knows that it's going to be met that way. And every time he receives an order, he sends me a text the next day and he goes, "What was that? I love that so much. How can I get more?" And I love that so much. Just the response that I get from people it's my bread and butter.
I love that. But, you know, I heard this business philosophy and I just love it. It's like, if you want people to talk about you, you need to give them something to talk about.
I love that.
Right? And ideally in a positive way, right?
Yes,
So yeah,
ideally.
because there's two sides to that
There
coin.
are, yes.
But you know, it's just such an interesting thing, all these words that we use, like extraordinary, right?
Yeah.
Well, extraordinary, or nobody talks about ordinary.
Yes.
Right? But they talk about extraordinary
Yes.
or extraordinary, right?
Yeah.
So like when you give people more than what they expect, you give them that level of service or that level of quality, or even just being part of that story and that experience,
Yeah.
people are going to talk about you. And it's incredible what you've built so far.
Thank you.
And I want to make sure people know how they can get a hold of you.
Yes.
Pre-order for Christmas, but all those
Yes.
other opportunities as well. Like there's, you know, and not an hour before, give you some notice. But if you've got the date night coming up, or how do people find you so they can order something as beautiful as this, so they can have that part of their story?
I do have a website. We're at PoshNoshCharcuterie.ca.
Okay.
And we're on Instagram, PoshNosh Charcuterie, and Facebook. And you can reach out to me on there. If they message me directly, I have an autoresponder set because there's so much spam out there now.
Sure.
And it has my cell phone number on it.
Okay.
And they can text me or call and email. And it's me you're getting. You're not getting some person who's going to respond and say, "Oh, she'll get back to you." No, it's me. And it may be a frazzled day when I'm dealing with my 8-year-old and I may get back to you in an hour, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And you're going to get something that you can be really, really proud of. Whether it's a gift that you're going to give to someone, or if it's something you're going to serve yourself, or you know what, Darren, I've got to tell you a funny story. The other day I had a message come through my website, and it was from a lady who had actually reached out on Facebook to a mom group and said, "Can you recommend a charcuterie for me?" And she reached out to me and she said, "Can you accommodate a last minute request? I need it for tomorrow morning at 7:00. And I said, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." And I said, "Is there an occasion or something? How can I make this extra special for you?" And she goes, "I'm having a scheduled C-section, and the first thing I want to eat is a charcuterie box."
Oh my
She goes,
goodness.
"I have held off for 9 months, and I am dying for some cheese and salami."
Wow.
She goes, "I am having my C-section at 6 in the morning. I want my box at 7. And I went, "Okay."
That is amazing. Did she request wine too?
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. No, I don't supply
You
the
don't
wine.
yeah,
I can recommend people, but
Yeah.
but no, I just thought that was so
That
funny.
is funny.
You know, I've got my brand new baby. Where's the meat? Right?
I love that.
I love
that.
it too.
Well, Katrina, you know what? You're a treasure to the community. I feel so thankful to have been part of your story. You know, we got, like, it seems that it was inevitable because you're the only one out of everybody that I didn't have the opportunity to meet out of your family so far. But it's just been great. And, you know, I really implore people to check out the
Thank you.
website and to reach out. I can speak from experience. Like these boxes have been just unbelievable. I've come home after my family's been at your home for dinner, and I was out traveling, and I came home, there was all this food in the fridge, and I didn't know what it was. I started eating it, and it was unbelievable. I had no idea where it came from, and I found out it was from you and all your you know, your recipes and your cooking and whatnot. And so I really implore people to reach
Thank
out
you.
and also support someone so amazing in the community.
Thank you.
So,
That means a lot.
yeah. Well, thank you for being on the Best of White Rock.
Thank you for having me.